Manhattan. How are you? Please raise your hand if you know this brand. Of course, all you do. It's Rolls-Royce. I feel like I've known this brand for as long as I remember. And like all great brands, it evokes strong emotions. It stands for something. And while all of us know Rolls-Royce is a brand, what you may not know is that today, Rolls-Royce is primarily in the business of making the world's highest performance jet engines, nuclear submarine components, clean technology. And so at the heart of their strategy is being able to attract and retain the world's best and brightest engineering talent. And so while it's important for all of us to have a powerful feeling about Rolls-Royce as a brand, it's seminal for Rolls-Royce to drive a powerful feeling in the hearts and minds of engineers and technical talent around the world about Rolls-Royce as an employer. Engineers need to dream of working at Rolls-Royce. And so let's ask ourselves a simple question. How many engineers around the world dream of working at Rolls-Royce? It's a simple question to ask, but it's actually incredibly hard to answer. Think about it for yourselves. How many professionals around the world dream of working at your organization? People have instincts, but it's hard to be precise. And having an answer to this question drives so much about casting your recruiting strategy for the future. The reason it's so hard is that the data has never existed. Companies have run surveys, they conduct interviews, they run focus groups to try to figure out how people feel about them as an employer, whether they dream of working for those organizations. That data exists today on LinkedIn. For the first time, there's a platform that has scale interactions of professionals all around the world between professionals and talent brands. On LinkedIn today, on an annual basis, there are 15 billion interactions between professionals and companies. And whether that's people connecting to each other, people viewing each other's profiles, following a company, viewing a job and engaging, reaching out to an employer, we can take all of this information and glean a fundamentally new level of insight about the strength of your talent brand within professionals around the world. And because each of these interactions is tied to someone's individual professional profile, not only we can answer this question in aggregate, but we can break it down by function, by discipline, and around the world. And so what we're pleased to announce for you today is the Talent Brand Index, a new measurement system so that you can have clarity and comfort that you know the strength of your talent brand around the world. Now, to show you how this works, Rolls-Royce, one of our strongest client partners, has agreed to share with you their data so you can see how this gets put into practice. So thank you to Rolls. Let's start by looking at two populations. The first population is what we call their talent brand reach. It's a measure of how many professionals on LinkedIn are familiar of Rolls-Royce as an employer. We can be incredibly specific in how we count this. Today on LinkedIn, there are 745,909 professionals on a global basis that are familiar with Rolls-Royce as an employer. And the reason we can be so specific is because we can look at things like connecting to Rolls-Royce's employees or viewing the profiles of Rolls-Royce's employees. But to understand talent brand, you have to look at another population, and we call that other population their talent brand engagement. It's a measure of how many professionals around the world have expressed either explicitly or implicitly through their actions that they're interested in working at Rolls-Royce. And again, we can be incredibly specific. Over the last year, 116,299 professionals on LinkedIn have expressed an interest in working at Rolls-Royce. And we can look at that by looking at engaging with Rolls-Royce's jobs, following them as an employer, or researching what it's like to work at that company. And by taking these two measures of their reach and their engagement, and we can pull them together, we can ask a very simple question. Of all the people that are aware of Rolls-Royce as an employer, what percentage of them have shown an interest in working there. And that number for Rolls-Royce is 16%. 16% is Rolls-Royce's Talent Brand Index, a simple and clear measure of how attractive Rolls-Royce is to prospective candidates around the world. Now, this is a great starting point, and it gives you a sense of where you are, but it's most valuable when you put it into context. And so because not only can we do this analysis for Rolls-Royce, but we can do it for other companies, we can help Rolls-Royce benchmark their talent brand relative to a peer set. And while we won't tell Rolls-Royce exactly the talent brand statistics of other companies in their group, what we can tell them is that of their peers, they are currently placed second out of 7 amongst groups that they compete with on a day-to-day basis for the world's best and brightest. Now, you may be thinking, okay, well, Dan, this is the whole company. We were talking about engineers. Well, because we can attach each of these interactions that we're tracking back to member profiles, we can show Rolls-Royce not only what their talent brand is in aggregate, but how it varies by function and by geographic location. All of us know that what a marketer thinks about our company is often completely different from what an engineer thinks about our company. What someone in India might think completely different about what someone in Australia thinks about us. And so now we can take it to the next level and give Rolls comfort that they are winning and succeeding in their most pivotal talent category, engineering. But again, this is a snapshot. This is a point in time. It's a great place to start. It gives you a sense of where you are and what you might need to do differently to move forward. And so we've had a wonderful partnership with Rolls-Royce over the last 2 years. And in particular, over the last 6 months, we've put together a broad program, and for them, both on LinkedIn and off LinkedIn, to think about taking their talent brand to the next level. They've done things such as targeting their jobs to the right members, showing videos of what it's like to work at Rolls-Royce as an employer, encouraging people to follow Rolls-Royce as a company, and bringing content, valuable content that's targeted to the right people to get people engaged in their talent brand. But how do they do? Because Talent Brand Index is a measure that we can track over time, we can help you see whether your strategies are working and how you need to change to improve. Over the last 6 months, Rolls-Royce's Talent Brand Index has increased substantially, up and to the right. And they have moved 3 spots in their rankings relative to their peer group. It's been a tremendous success. There's always things to work on. There's always areas where you don't quite hit the mark, and you learn from those, and you adjust, and you move forward. But Rolls-Royce has the confidence that the investments that they're making and the strategy that they're deploying are working. It's a great story. Now, we thought about what's the right way to bring this to all of you. We think that this is a fundamentally new level of data that'll bring clarity to your world and help you devise the right strategy for the future. And so, rather than offering this as a commercial offering, we'll be providing this for free to all of our customers as part of our relationship. And the reason we're doing that is that we feel that together, by having this information as part of our dialogue, that we can become what our goal is of being the most strategic partner in the recruiting landscape that you have. And so for those of you interested in figuring out what your talent brand index is, please contact your relationship manager for more information. Now, before I hand the stage over to Parker, we have one more thing to show you, which is that while we can do this for one company and we can compare them across peer groups, we can also look at the entire landscape of companies on LinkedIn. And across all of our members all over the world, who are the companies that our members are most excited and attracted to? And so for the first time, I'm pleased to announce for you today the most in-demand employers on LinkedIn. It's a group of amazing companies. Congratulations to the firms in the top 10. Can I please have a round of applause for all of them? For those of you that are up on this screen, congratulations. For everyone else, I guess we know who we're gunning for next year, right? So we'll work with you on that. This information is going to be displayed on talent.linkedin.com/in-demand for both our customers and our members. And not only are we going to publish a global list, but we'll be publishing regional lists, because as we all know, the top employers in one part of the world may not be the same employers in another part of the world. We'll also be publishing industry lists so that we can all see who's leading in particular sectors. I'm incredibly excited about what happens when you bring new data to a hard problem. And I feel like Talent Brand Index can be, for all of us, the single measure that we go to understand the strength of our talent brand today. And we can use that clarity to guide our recruiting strategies of tomorrow so that we can all bring in the best and brightest to our organizations. And so with that, I'd like to bring up Parker Burrill to the stage to give 2 more product announcements. Parker's my partner in crime, and he leads the product and engineering development at LinkedIn. His team and the team that he works with builds all of the things that you use in your day-to-day job. And he's going to talk about how do you take this to the next level in terms of once you've worked branding, how do you drive targeting and engagement into your recruitment strategy? Thank you.